Hi there, Miranda Alt here with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team with your Monday market update for Monday, January 16th, 2023. Thank you so much for watching. A quick look at your Montgomery County numbers for the last 7 days. We had 71 new listings. We had 98 go under contract. We had 58 closed sales, 20 price changes, and 31 currently on the private network. As opposed to this week last year, so 2022, we had 101 new listings. We had 114 go under contract, so still more under contract than we had new listings this week last year. Whereas this week this year, we actually had, we did have more go under contract than we had listed new. We had 98 go under contract and only 71 listed new. So we are still heading in the wrong direction for inventory, still less and less inventory each week. This week last year, we had 80 closed sales as opposed to only 58 this week this year. And we had 57 on the private network this week last year as opposed to 31 right now. So again, we're still looking at low inventory. That's still an issue that is going to continue to be an issue probably for the entire year. We don't really see inventory getting a whole lot better. It might get some better. So we're currently still in a seller's market. So remember, we measure inventory in how many months it takes to sell out of whatever is currently listed. So a fair balanced market is 4 to 6 months inventory. Anything under 4 months inventory is going to be a seller's market, and anything over 6 months inventory is going to be a buyer's market. We are in what's called a shifting market right now. So we have been in a seller's market for a few years now, ever since the pandemic. Actually, honestly, even before the pandemic, we were still in a seller's market. We are slowly going to be shifting towards a buyer's market, but we don't know how long that shift is going to take to actually get to a buyer's market, meaning we have over 6 months inventory. I personally, from what I'm seeing, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think we will slowly get more inventory as the spring comes along, because what we're seeing is buyers taking more time to make the decision. They're not as quick to decide as they were this time last year. So we're seeing homes going under contract, but the market time is increasing, which means we're going to have more homes on the market for the duration, for the amount of time, versus things flying off the market in 2 seconds. Now, keeping that in mind, we are still seeing some homes sell very, very quickly. If it is move-in ready, if it's got that kitchen that everybody wants, if it's got all the bathrooms are updated and it's move-in ready and it's priced really well, things are still moving very quickly. So don't be misled by some of these things I'm saying. So still low inventory. We still had only 71 new listings. We still had 98 go under contract. So we have a lot of buyers out there that are serious. They're ready to go. We do, according to Dr. Lawrence Young, he reported last week that inflation is coming down and therefore mortgage rates will also come down, because we know when inflation pulls back, that's when the mortgage rates go down, because the reason mortgage rates go up is in order to curb inflation. It's in order to slow down the market. It is supposed to cause people to not buy homes as rapidly as they were. So it was doing its job. Inflation numbers, CPI in December was 6.45%, down from its peak of 9.1% in June of 22. This is all consistent with what Barry Habib has been saying as well, that inflation is going to start to be reported as curbing, and therefore the mortgage rates will come down. So Lawrence Young saying the same thing. Now, Lawrence Young is the National Association of Realtors chief economist. Barry Habib is with Mortgage-Backed Securities Highway. So both of these economists study the market, they study the housing industry, and they are best at knowing what is going to be happening with the market in 2023. So Lawrence Young is still predicting that prices are going to stay steady, and they actually are potentially going to rise some in 2023. I have some people asking me, well, when are prices going to come? I'm just going to wait for prices to come down. According to economists who study this stuff a lot more and know more about this stuff than I do and you do and most people do, they say prices are not going to come down this year. Currently, what we're seeing, rent was up 8.35% in December. It's the highest reading in 40 years. That is going to encourage people to buy. When rent goes up as rapidly as it has, people aren't going to want to pay rent anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's more economical, at least in Montgomery County, it's more economical to buy than it is to rent. Now, here's some things that are going on with that, though. The private sector data in most recent months, have been pointing to a near zero rent growth in some cities this year, and as robust apartment constructions will rise and create more rental vacancies. We're seeing that here in Crystal Lake. In downtown Crystal Lake, what used to be the old Heinz Lumber Yard, they are building an apartment complex and townhomes. Those are all rentals. Those are not going to be available for purchase. They are going to be rentals. What is that going to do to rentals in Crystal Lake? Well, it's going to create more inventory, which is going to ease that demand. Now, the rental, I don't know what those rental prices will be, but they're going to be significant. And those of us that are investors, like my husband, who's got 35 rental properties in McHenry County, well, that's going to affect our rental price. If somebody can go rent something for less somewhere else, we're going to have to bring our prices down to be competitive. Now, I don't know what those apartments are going to be rented at, and we're not seeing any of that yet. And I don't know when those apartments and townhomes will be ready, but we are seeing apartment buildings being built and more rentals becoming available. So if that happens, some of those rental prices will come down, and I don't know what that will do to buyer demand, but we're also anticipating that mortgage rates are going to come down. So if mortgage rates are under 6%, under 5%, as Barry Habib thinks, by June, we're going to see all of these numbers change, and we're going to see a really high demand for housing, and we still are not going to have enough housing to reach the demand. Currently in Crystal Lake, we have about 1.5 months inventory still. We've had that for a long time. In the spring, we had like half a month's inventory. So we have more inventory now than we did then, but we still don't have enough. And prices are still likely to increase this year, as I stated. Currently, the median sales price for this week for Chicagoland was $261,000, which was down from our peak in June of $310,000. So that's the median. But the average price this week is up $348,538, up from last year. So last year, our average sales price was $326,000. Now it's $348,000. So it's down from the peak. The peak in June, I believe, was $410,000 was the average sales price back in June. It's now $348,000. So if prices come down, yes, that is a normal seasonal correction. We're seeing prices come down normally in in January, because it's January. It's crappy outside. Who wants to move right now? Also, it's largely dictated by the school year. People want to have their kids finish out the school year in the school that they're in, and then they want to move over the summer. So that has a huge influence on what seasonality we see. And so with that being said, prices are still remaining steady, and we are remaining strong, and we anticipate that they are going to remain strong into the spring of this year, because we are still not going to have enough supply. And what is the age-old economic principle that is always going to dictate price is supply and demand. And we still do not have enough supply. Builders are still not building like they were in 2008. They are curbing. They're only building what they know they can sell. I know the development up at Lennar at 31 and 176, they're almost done building. They're building their last. The single-family homes in the regular age communities are going to be done in the next couple of years. They'll be done building. The 55 and older community is almost done building. They'll be done. They'll probably be sold out by the end of the summer this year. So we're just not seeing things go crazy like they did in 2008, which is keeping things keeping our housing market strong. We also have foreclosures at almost nothing. Some reports will say, oh, foreclosures are going to double this year. Well, yeah, that's because we had none last year. So doubling is still not saying much. So keep in mind all of these things. Housing market is strong. We still have low inventory. That is going to continue for the foreseeable future. Prices are staying strong. We don't have a lot of competition on the market right now. So if you're thinking of selling, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to wait till spring. There's a mixed bag with waiting till spring. Waiting till spring, yeah, you'll probably get more for your house, but you also, if you're a buyer on the other side, it's going to be very competitive as a buyer. Also, right now, there's not a lot on the market. So maybe if your house needs a couple projects, maybe it's not the most updated thing in the world, there's not a lot for people to look at. So if you hit the market now, you're going to have less competition, and your house might look pretty darn good compared to nothing, compared to nothing else that people have to choose from. So I'm Miranda Alt with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team. Thanks for watching. That's a quick look at your Monday market update. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Some of you, Martin Luther King Jr. is known for his fight for equality for all Americans. What people don't know is that housing was a huge focus for him. Martin Luther King fought very, very hard to have fair and equitable housing, and we have an equal housing opportunity law that we now have to follow, and that's all thanks to Martin Luther King Jr. So enjoy your day honoring him. Thanks again for watching. I'm Miranda Alt. Have a great day. Bye.